This is my executive summary of my response and recommendations to question 9 of Issues Paper 4 into the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses of Child Sexual Abuse in Out-of-Home Care. The focus of my submission is that independent oversight is mandatory. It's crucial for enhancing child safety. The absence of an independent oversight body to provide checks and balances on government and non-government organisations allows for issues to systemically fail to protect a child from sexual abuse in an out-of-home care setting. During the conduct of my research, I noticed an apparent lack of any real evidence to suggest that independent oversight is directly linked to empirical data. So the numerical figures of reduction in child sexual abuse, increase in notifications, decrease in notifications, none of this suggestively shows that it is absolutely linked to independent oversight. My submission seeks to provide recommendations to assist in gathering numerical data that will absolutely link independent oversight to the reduction in child sexual abuse and the increase in notifications. Primarily, my data set was gathered from the Australian Institute of Health and Wellbeing, the Child Protection in Australia report compiled for the 2016-17 financial year. This data crucially depicted all aspects of child protection, from children who were receiving services to those who were in protection orders and those who were in out-of-home care. The latter was crucial in identifying reporting trends for kids placed in out-of-home care. I was unable to source any opinion that differed from mine in stating that oversight is crucial in child protection. Different sources did, however, provide opportunities for the system to fail, in that oversight bodies don't have the powers to criminalise negligence from their regulatory agency. So if an agency fails to undertake an investigation and fails to protect the child, there's no criminal action on that agency, which is a failure in itself. Another instance can occur where the independent oversight doesn't maintain its independence, so it has a conflict of interest with the agencies that report to it. My submission seeks to first plant the numbers, the data set of children in out-of-home care, the figures of how many investigations are potentially being affected by independent oversight each year. From there, I'll identify the independent oversight bodies are. This list is non-exhaustive. I've just picked out the key players to keep the flow of the report going. This breaks them apart from regulatory bodies and agencies who are handling the investigation in the first instance. I've made use of the recent case of Tiali Palmer in Queensland, where independent review has resulted in law reform and as a consequence has added further protection measures against sexual abuse for children in out-of-home care. Finally, I've made numerous recommendations as to how quantifiable data can be reached through implementation of different auditing measures, such as auditing agencies' compliance with legislation, testing their determination to adhere to articles of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, auditing out-of-home care, auditing education and training provided to agencies and families who are taking on children, and perhaps the easiest recommendation is to obtain feedback from the key stakeholders.